Hi guys, today's video is all about the newly released, it's the Chanel Fall, it's the Equinoxe collection. I picked up both of the blushes, the coral one and the mauve one. I also picked up 4 of the 6 loose eyeshadows. There's also 2 nail polishes in this collection. I haven't got those yet. I'm probably going to pick up 1 of those colours. And there's also 6 of the Rouge Coco Bloom lipsticks, and I picked up a couple of shades of those as well. Now I have seen about 2 or 3 videos featuring also the loose eyeshadows that come with this collection, and there doesn't seem to be a favourable response, so I was pretty nervous when these arrived. Now I have been playing around with them for the last couple of days. I got all this, it was probably about 2 days ago now, so I've used the eyeshadows twice, and I have to say that I really like them. Now I did expect that they would be a bit more tricky to use because they are a loose pigment. But for me, I found that they actually aren't that messy, and I really don't get much fallout from them either as well. So what I'm going to do in this video is do 3 different looks. The first look, I'm just going to use 1 of the loose eyeshadows, and I won't put on any mascara or eyeliner with it, just so you get to see it on my lids. The next one, I'm going to use 2 of the loose eyeshadows and then also use the coral blush as well and show you the lipsticks. And then the third one, I'm going to use the mauve blush and the deeper shade in the loose eyeshadow and mix it up with the mauve blush on my lids as well, and also use one of the Chanel liquid eyeshadows, and together that looks really beautiful. So let's get started with the first eyeshadow. The first one I'm going to use is number 406, and this one is Cedra Kevra, and I really like the packaging of these. Through here it is transparent, so you can see which shade that you're going to use. If you've got more than 1 of these, you don't have to look at the bottom, you can see very clearly, and I think the packaging is just really lovely. Now, as I said, I was a bit nervous about these because I had seen that they were quite messy. The thing with these is that, yes, they can be a one and done shadow, but when you first open it up, so the lid just unscrews, and here is the little applicator inside. And initially I thought, how would you get the shadow, because it isn't very long, but all you need to do is shake the bottle and that dispenses product on the applicator. So the sponge itself is quite small, and there's also a little bit of loose eyeshadow just on the rim through here. So at this stage I haven't got any fallout, and what I do is I use it sort of like you might do with a nail polish. So you can just tap it off through there, but what I do is actually press it against there because there's quite a lot of pigment in, and by doing that you're also pressing this loose pigment in to the applicator. The other way that I do it is like that, and then I get a brush that I'm going to use and tap it on the applicator and then put it on my lid. Now, since I've opened this and done that, I have a microfiber cloth towel in front of me, or a cloth in front of me, and there is no fallout at this stage. Now, I haven't tried it with the deeper shade yet. I think when I used that, it was straight from just tapping the brush on there. So maybe with that deeper shade, there could be a little bit of fallout, but with the other 3 shades that I've used, there hasn't been. So then what I do, so this is just going to be a one and done. I press it through. So you just have to go fairly gently. It's like when I put on a shimmer or a metallic eyeshadow, when I'm using one of my smaller brushes, I press into the pan to get the pigment, and then I press it onto the lid, and then I seem to get less fallout as well. So I'm just going to press it on the other side, and once I've put on what I think is enough, then I just take a brush and I'm just going to pop it back in now. So By doing that, I haven't got any fallout whatsoever. So now I'm just going to take my rephr 14 brush and I'm just going to blend this out. I have found that they blend really beautifully. Now if you want more intense pigment from it, then all you have to do is repeat that step and just tap some more on, and you certainly get a lot more payoff doing that. So that is just with the one application. Now I'm going to put a little bit more on again, and again I sort of press it against the inside there, and I'm just going to add just a little bit more. So I imagine if you just pulled it out of the bottle and then just started swiping it across, then you would definitely get quite a bit of fallout. But by doing it this way, just don't seem to get that fallout. Now if I thought there wasn't quite enough of the loose shadow on that applicator, then I'd just close it up and just tip it upside down like this, and that adds more pigment on to the applicator. So I'm just going to take my rephr 14 again and just blend that up, and that has placed on quite a bit more pigment, so you get a lot more payoff. Now because I've worn these twice before, I can say that they wear really well. Those of you that haven't seen my other videos, I have oily skin, so I also have oily eyelids as well. Now I have got a primer on underneath. Yesterday when I wore 2 of the shades, I wore them for about 12 hours. From about 8 to 10 hours, they still look like when I just put them on. When it got to about the 12-hour mark, they did start to fade a little bit. And they didn't crease or anything either. I think these are really lovely. So that's with the second application. And again, I can't see any fallout whatsoever. So now I'm going to wash this off, and then I'm going to do my second look, and I'll be using the coral blush as well. So now I'm going to use 2 shades together. I'm going to use number 404. This is Shen Brun. I think that means brown oak. And then number 402, and that is sycamore. So I'll swatch these on the back of my hand and show you what they're like. Now I've also swatched on my hand the one that I just used on my lid, and that is number 406. Next, this one is sycamore 402, and this one here is Shen Brun, and that is 404. So you can see that they all have a satin finish. So first of all, I'm going to put on 404. This is the darker of the 2. And again, just press that applicator sponge in there. And I'm just going to put a small amount on the outer corner of each eye, and then I'm going to blend it out, and I'll use my rephr 14 brush again. So this collection was inspired, that Equinoxe collection, inspired that it was Coco Chanel's favourite time of the year, fall. So these are just really beautiful fall shades. So you can see that it blends out really lovely. I don't get any patchiness, and I think they look really lovely. Then I'm going to take shade 402, and again just pressing the applicator on the side there, and this time what I'm going to do is just hold the cap up here. I've wiped down my rephr 14 brush, and I'm going to just tap that onto the applicator itself, and you can see the pigment that picks up. So this might be a better way if you don't want to put the applicator directly onto your lid. But again, it's blending out really beautifully. Now I wore this yesterday when I had to go out. So these are the 2 shades that I wore, and as I was saying, they lasted really well on my lids. I'm really impressed with them. I think they look really beautiful. So I'm going back to 404 and I'm going to put some of this on my lower lash line, and I'm also going to use it to line my upper lash line as well. So I've got the rephr number 3, and as you can see, picks up a lot of pigment, and I'm just going to put this on my lower lash line. And then I'm just going to use the same shade, same brush, and just use it for my upper lash line as well. Now I've also used these by wetting the brush if you want more payoff when you use it as a liner, and that works really well. I just use a setting spray and just wet the brush, and then again just tap it onto the applicator, and I found that works really well. But even without them wet and using this brush, I think it lines the upper lash line really, really well. So now I've put a little bit of mascara on, and this is what the finished eye look is like. I think this is really lovely. So with this eye look, I'm going to put on one of the blushes. It's 797. This is Beige et Coral. This is really gorgeous packaging with the 4 leaves on. I think it is really beautiful. This is limited edition. I think this is still available on the US site, but I think that the other blush, the one in Mauve, has now sold out. This has a shelf life of 18 months from date of opening. These are made in France, and they have 9 grams of product, and it also comes with one of these brushes as well. These are really gorgeous. So you've got the interlocking C's in the middle there, and that is the lighter shade, and then you've got the more intense shade, and the leaf embossing on these is just really, really beautiful. So I'm just going to use a very soft brush to put this blush on, and I'll just swirl just in the middle here to pick up both of the shades. And there are no issues whatsoever with pigment with this blush. Now I did swirl quite a few times, and you do get quite a lot of payoff. For those of you wondering whether you could go even more softly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe down this brush and go in very, very gently to begin with on the side, and just see if you can get just a very sheer wash of colour. So I've wiped down the brush, and this time I'm just going to just tap in there very lightly. And if you go very lightly with the brush, you can just a very sheer wash of colour. So I'll just tap in there lightly again and just slowly build it up. So you can go in very sheer if you want to and build it up. Some people do prefer that. And now I'm just tapping in again because I just want to even it up on the side. But I really like it that you can build it up if you want to. If you want more of a bold look, you'll certainly be able to get it with this blush. But you can also have it sheer and buildable. So I think both options are really great. And then, as I was saying at the beginning of the video, I did pick up 2 of the Rouge Coco Blooms. So for this look, I'm going to put on 150, and that is Ease. And this one it's a warm nude. Now, I really like the formula of the Coco Blooms. To me, they're very similar to the Coco Flash, but with a lot more pigment. So I will swatch this on the back of my hand so you can take a look. I love it that they are pigmented. If you want less of a pigmented look though, you can just like tap a little bit in the middle and just tap it out. Works really well that way. And I really love the formula of these lipsticks too. I think that they are super moisturising, and I think the shade of this lipstick goes really beautiful with the blush and also the eyeshadow as well. So now I'm going to wash all of this off, and when I come back I'll do the third and final look. I'm going to use the last of the loose eyeshadows that I picked up. That is the deepest one. I'm also going to be using the Mauve blush and also the other lipstick that I picked up in Sweetness. So now let's take a look at this beautiful Mauve blush. This is 798 Beige, Rose and Mauve. This is really gorgeous. Now I will be using one of the loose eyeshadows, the one I haven't used yet, but I'm actually going to be using this blush on my eyes as well, and I put this on first, so I thought I would start with the blush. This is such a beautiful colour, and I love the embossing on this, just like the other one. Of course, it has the autumnal leaves in it. It's just really, really beautiful. So let's get started with the eye look. I'm going to start off with the blush, and I'm going to take a Chanel brush, and I'm going to just stay with the more intense shade here, and I'm going to put that all over the lid, through the crease, and just take it slightly above as well. Now I did this look, it wasn't yesterday, I think it was the day before, and I thought it was really, really beautiful. Then we'll take the rephr number 3, stay with the mauve shade here, and I'm going to run that under my lower lash line. I'm going to go over this a little bit with the loose shadow as well. And next I'm going to take the Sonia G. This is the flat definer, and this is quite small because I just want to go with the lighter shade now. So I'll just tap my brush into that part there, and I'm going to put this just through here just to lighten things up a little bit. And now I'm going to go to the loose eyeshadow. This is number 414. So this is a grey black. It has a little bit of purple in it as well. I'm going to swatch this one on the back of my hand. Now because this is so dark, this is one where if there's going to be fallout you will probably see it the most, but at this stage nothing seems to be falling out. I'm just swatching it on the back of my hand. I'll hold it up in a minute so you can take a look. So this is number 414, and it does blend out really beautifully. Again, it has a satin type finish, and that's what it's like blended out. Now I'm going to put the shade just on the outer corner. I'm also going to use it on my lower lash line, and also for liner on my upper lash line as well. So I'm just going to just shake the bottle a little bit, and then this is where I'm more careful, and just swipe it across there, keeping it in and just pressing it just against the lip part there. So you do have to be quite careful, but at this stage I haven't got any fallout. Now the other day when I went to use this, I took my rephr 14 brush and tapped it on there. I'm just going to use the applicator and just place a little bit in the outer corner and on the other side as well, and then I will blend it out using the rephr 14. So that's with it just tapped on. I'm having a close look and I can't see any fallout. So I really think the secret with these is when you are tapping off the excess, just press it against there and it just seems to pack the pigment in more and you don't tend to get any fallout. So this is the rephr 14 and I'm just going to blend this out just so I get that depth in the outer corner. I'm not going to take it too far above. I think I did the other day and I thought it looked a little bit too intense. So I'm just going to keep it through the crease and just slightly above. Then we'll take the rephr number 3 and just pick up some pigment off the little applicator there, and I'm going to put this on my lower lash line, just in the outer corner through here. And then I'm just going to go over, I think this is called the soft shader. I use this brush enough, I should know. It's the soft definer. And just going to just blend that out a little bit, just to soften it out. And I was saying before how I have used it with a wet brush. So now I've just put some setting spray on my rephr number 3. And again, just go in to pick up some pigment. I haven't dipped this back into the little case yet since I opened it before. I've just been sitting on top of my table in front of me just like this. And I'm going to use this to line my upper lash line. And then finally, I'm going to take one of the Chanel. This is one of the lacs. I love these. And I'm just going to put this in the inner corner and just under here, a little bit through here. So what I normally do with these is just take out the applicator and I put some just on the back of my hand, just like that. Now these do dry down quite quickly, so I'm just going to take a clean rephr number 3 brush and I just go in just very lightly into the lac, and then I'm just going to put some through here and under here as well. And I'm also just going to put a little bit in here just to brighten everything up. So I've just popped some mascara on, and this is the final look for the eyes. I think this is really beautiful. I think the blush looks gorgeous, and I really love that deeper shade of that loose eyeshadow, and I like it with the lac just to brighten up the inner corner through here. I think it looks really pretty. Now I've wiped down the brush that I used before for the coral shade. Now let's use this as a blush. So to begin with, I'll do the same thing. I'll swirl in quite a bit, mixing both of the shades together, and then pop it on. There are certainly no issues with pigment with these blushes. I think they are gorgeous. But again, on the other side, I'll wipe down my brush and then just tap very lightly, and again see whether you can go in quite sheer. But that is just absolutely gorgeous. So now I'm just wiping down my brush, and now I'm just going to tap in very, very lightly. No swirling, just a light tap, and just slowly build it up. So again, this is very sheer. So if you think that the shade might be a little too intense for you, you can definitely just go in very lightly and tap it on and build it up. And actually just put on just sheer like that is very, very pretty. I like the side as well, but really sheer looks beautiful as well. So you can just slowly go in and just slowly build it up how you want to. But that looks really beautiful. But now I'm just going to even up both sides. So just swirl in a little bit heavier and just build up the side as well. And then finally the other Rouge Coco Bloom that I picked up. This is number 152, and this one is Sweetness. This one is warmer than the other Coco Bloom that I put on. It's more of a warmer rosewood type colour. And I'll also swatch this just on the back of my hand so you can take a look. This is a really beautiful colour. What I'll do is I'll just grab the other one, the one in Ease, and I'll just swatch that so you can see them side by side. So this is the first one that I tried before with the coral blush. This is Ease, and this is Sweetness. Out of the two, I think I prefer this one here. This one, I don't mind the brown. I probably put it on a little bit lighter, but I think this shade here is, I think it looks really beautiful with the whole look. So now that I've taken out my hairband, I really love the final look. So what do I think about this collection? Well, people have been saying for quite a while they want Chanel to come out with something different, and they did. These loose eyeshadows, I think that they are beautiful. I think they blend beautifully, and when I use them about pressing that applicator against the inside, I don't tend to get any fallout. I just think that they are gorgeous. And the other thing that I really love about them is that they are great on my oily lids. They last really well. As I said earlier in the video, the 2 times that I've worn them for at least like 10 to 12 hours. And after 8 to 10 hours, they're still looking really good. And they start to fade about that 12-hour mark. And I think that's great with oily skin. I also think they are great on my mature eyelids. They don't emphasize any texture, and they don't crease either. I think that they're really, really lovely. The blushes are stunning. I love both of them. I love the coral with the beige, and I love this mauve rose one as well. And it works beautifully on the eyes together with that darker shade of the loose eyeshadow. I think the look is really beautiful, and the lipsticks are lovely. I do prefer the one that I've got on at the moment to the other one, 150 in Ease. I just think I'd probably get more wear out of this one. And as I was saying before as well, with the blooms, if you think there is too much pigment, you can always just put a little bit in the center here and just tap over the rest of your lips just using your finger, and I think that gives a really beautiful look as well. So I am really pleased with this collection. I was nervous about these loose eyeshadows, and I don't think I've ever used loose eyeshadows before. The thing is with these loose eyeshadows is that they can definitely be used as a one and done, but you can't just sort of unscrew the lid and flick it out and then put it on your eye, because you are going to get all that fallout. But just for just a few seconds longer, just lift it out carefully and press it against the inside. Sort of presses that pigment into the applicator sponge. And as you saw with the darker shade, you can go directly on the lid, and I haven't got any fallout whatsoever. Or you can still just pull the applicator sponge out very carefully, again pressing it against the inside, and just grab a brush and tap it against the sponge and then apply it that way. But either way just works really well. So for someone that hasn't used them before, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm just someone who just really loves putting on makeup. So if I can use them without any fallout, then I'm sure you will be able to as well. But really thrilled with everything that I picked up. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.